rank the top 3 running backs, starting running back, backup, and number 3. I like this question. Let's give it our best. How would you rank the Niners stable of running backs? How would you?
Are we including Jeff Wilson?
Let's not for now. Let's not. Week one.
And are we gonna take into account, receiving ability, everything?
Because everything.
Okay.
How would you?
Okay.
Yes.
Because I think receiving ability kind of changes this conversation a little bit, though. I don't think the Niners have truly a very good receiving back in their entire team. I mean, I know JaMychal Hasty, a lot of people said in camp he was kind of filthy with his routes and everything, and he was a little bit in Baylor, but we haven't gotten to see it in the NFL, so I can't say that.
Yeah.
He is
Jeff
small.
Wilson Jr. was more built like a wide receiver with the 6 feet tall frame and
right.
Yeah.
So if we're including receiving ability and we're including Jeff Wilson Jr., then my entire thing changes, because I would go Mostert 1, Jeff Wilson 2, and Trey Sermon 3. But if we're not including Jeff Wilson Jr. and we taking receiving ability out of it, I'm going to go Mostert 1.
No, don't take the receiving ability out of it.
And
don't take receiving ability out of it. You can put receiving ability, blocking, running, the whole total package. Who is the best running back on the team? All things considered.
We're going to include all things blocking and everything?
Yeah, all things considered. All things considered. How do you rank these guys? Yes.
As all-around football players.
All-around football players. Absolutely. Yes.
Just okay. Then to me, Jeff Wilson is 1. Oh wow. Mostert is 2. Trey Sermon is 3. Because Mostert is not great in pass protection, and Jeff Wilson's a better receiver than Mostert. And Jeff Wilson isn't Tevin Coleman in pass protection. I just think he's a little better than Mostert.
Jeff Wilson Jr. is a hell of a player. He's good. He can do a lot of different things.
And he didn't fumble. And he didn't fumble besides the Rams game last year. If he fumbled a bit more, then he wouldn't, if he had his old fumbling problem. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's a very interesting. I wasn't expecting you to put Jeff Wilson Jr. number 1. That's why it's a tough loss. I wasn't
expecting to do it either. And then you said receiving, blocking, everything. And I'm like, wait. He's a better blocker than Mostert. He's a better receiver than Mostert. He's not as good a runner, but that's 2 out of the 3 categories. And we're ranking them as all-around backs. And, Wayne Gallman, to me, then you could maybe put in the conversation too, because he's not as good a runner as any of those 3, but he's probably almost as well-rounded as, Trey Sermon isn't the most well-rounded when it comes to as a running back. He's just a hell of a runner, a really good runner. Same with Mostert. Mostert's a crazy good runner.
I wasn't expecting you to put Wilson number 1, and your argument is flawless. I'm into it. It really does underscore how much that injury hurts, but he's supposed to be back at some point. It's not like an Achilles injury. It's meniscus. He should be back mid-season. So that's interesting. While he's out, you would have it Mostert, Gallman theoretically, and then Mostert, Sermon, Gallman.
Sermon, Gallman, yeah, for sure.
Fair.
Sure.
Good question. I like this. Yeah.
But the conversation changes, right? Because if you're talking who's the most impactful and who's just going to impact the 49ers, I would go Mostert, Sermon, then Wilson, because I think Sermon and Mostert's running, and the Niners, most of what they ask about their running backs is just to be good runners, and Sermon and Mostert are the best runners. But if you look at the Niners' investment in this position, it's always looking to find an all-around player, right? Like Breida was the best runner on the team in 2018, but they gave Jeff McKinnon so much money to be an all-around back. They flirted heavy with Le'Veon Bell because they wanted an all-around running back. By all reports, they really wanted to draft Saquon Barkley if he fell in that draft, because they wanted an all-around back. So I think that's interesting, because Mostert's a hell of a runner. And now they did draft a really good runner in Sermon, who could be a great receiver and pass protector at some point. We just didn't get to see a lot of it in college.
It's too bad we won't see more Jeff Wilson Jr. I love watching him play. I thought he was underused in 2019. His catch in the Super Bowl was terrific. He had really nice plays during the season. And then last year, his game against New England was legendary. I love that game. He was so good. He left it in the third quarter with a high ankle sprain, but we have 4 touchdowns in that game. I mean, 3 or 4.
He's wearing number 30. They're running outside zone.
He's looking like Terrell Davis over here. Man, Terrell Davis, yes. Dude, I thought he was – I really feel like he runs as hard as any player in the league, man. He runs freaking hard. Way harder than you'd expect him to. He's not that big.
He's a 205-pound guy that we consider a power back.
You think of him, he's like, oh, he's 225. No. He's 205. He runs like a maniac. I love that guy's so weak that he got hurt in the weight room. I'm so sorry that, but at least it happened
Oh,
in
it was in
May
the
and he
weight
should be
room?
back. I mean, it happened right after. It happened in the locker room when he'd come back from the weight room. I'm assuming the weight room was involved, but either way, it sucks. And I hope
Yeah,
he's
because
back
I've been
quickly.
really worried when I've been getting out of chairs lately, you know. I've been making sure I'm getting out. No, I'm just playing. I'm just
No, I was
playing. I
talking to the
hope he
doctor, and
comes
they're
back.
like, if
Yeah.
you're younger than 50, you're probably okay getting out of chairs. It's more likely that you're going to hurt it's doing heavy squats. So chill on the heavy squats. George says,
No,
my
no,
quick judge. You don't do
you
the
don't
heavy
have to worry
squats?
about me in the heavy
Do the
spots.
heavy squats?
Nah.